It is time, as it is every Tuesday and Thursday at 11:30, unless he's got something else going on. We're joined by Tracy Jones, who's at a 6-star resort still down somewhere in Mexico. Tracy, what in the hell is that behind you right there? Where are you in your room?
Tom, I'm in my room, and I wasn't able to change rooms, so I thought I'd make it romantic for my wife. So I made these balloons. You see the one with the heart? I actually worked at a carnival. You know how you can make the animals and everything, giraffe? I was part of that when I was like 14 years old. So I blew up all those balloons and put it over the bed for our anniversary just to kind of help things along, and it didn't help. You know how they always say, like, MTV Cribs, where the magic happens? There ain't no magic happening. You take her on a 6-star resort, right? Hotel, everything. No action, no wool, nothing, zero, zilch. It's outrageous.
Does the balloons back there cut down on any of the construction noise outside of your room? Let's start with that, because I assume you didn't get your room changed. Is that right?
No. And I said, can I talk to the manager? And they said, yeah, absolutely. So I went in the back and I started to talk to the manager. And I hate to do this, Tom, and very rarely do I do this, but occasionally I will do this. I did the old, do you know who I am? And what was crazy, the guy looked right at me and goes, yes, I do. He goes, I was a big Giants fan back in 1990 when you hit $1.86 playing for the Giants. He says, you're not getting in the room. That room is perfect for you. So that's what it looks like. But I think it's a little romantic, don't you?
I really do. I have to say, I'm very, very impressed that you would take the time to try and, bring a little spark, bring a little something with Danae. Is she impressed with the work that you put in? Apparently not, right?
Absolutely not. She's not impressed with anything I do, except for being on with Thom Brennaman. I mean, that's a big deal. Hey, listen, I caught a situation last night. I want to run it past you guys, what you think was happening here. So we're out with a couple yesterday, and then it went into the nighttime. And around 2 o'clock, they said, hey, you want to come back to our hotel for a nightcap? What is that all about, Tom? That seemed very, very shaky to me. Any thoughts?
Were there any car keys involved there?
No, it wasn't. But I think they were swingers. I really do. I think they were into that stuff. And Danae says, why don't we go up there and have a nightcap? And I said, Danae, absolutely not. So we didn't. I just thought this place is very shaky, right? It's nice, but there's just a lot of edginess to this place.
What does that mean? I mean, what do you mean? What exactly does that mean? Because I asked my dad yesterday, we had him on. He was all over you about the segment the other day on Tuesday we did that you looked pale, you looked really white, and here you are in this place with lots of sun. Well, now clearly you've gotten out in the sun. You've got a lot of color about you, so we put that to rest. But I've never heard of a 6-star resort before. Maybe that's just for people like you. But what makes it edgy? I mean, what makes, the tension? I don't know what the word is. Maybe that's just you and Danae. I don't know if it's necessarily the property itself.
No, maybe you just made a really good point. Maybe it's just the relationship I have with Danae. But you know what, your dad, and I did hear that interview with your dad, and I have to say something to your dad, and I hope he's watching. How dare you? To sit there and make fun of the way I look, I think is it's very hurtful and very insensitive. And I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up right now. Do you remember a couple of days I had that interview with Chatterbox Telemundo? Do you remember that, Tom?
Yes, when they showed up, they were knocking at your door at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for the segment. Yes.
Yeah. The interview, and the lady asked me a question. Do you think you'd be better with Thom or Marty? And I was kind of going back and forth because I've worked with Marty for 24 years, right? With you for only about 10 shows. And she says, let me give you some advice. Says, I would drop Marty and go with Thom. You guys are a lot better together. So I'm just saying that's what Chatterbox Telemundo said in the interview.
No kidding.
You can Google that. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I wonder, we're going to have to get my dad's reaction to that when we have him on next week. So you're down there through the weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, I got to get back. I think I have kidney stones. I think I do. It seems like I'm always complaining about something. You ever notice that, Thom?
Well, that happens to a lot of professional
athletes. I'm kind of a
athletes.
crybaby.
No, that happens to a lot of professional athletes. You guys did things to your bodies that the regular Joe like me, non-athlete, we might have other issues, but when you're a former player and you were a former big league player, 5 teams, right?
5 major league teams, but we're not talking about. I think we're talking about a different situation because what you're referring to is gout. That's a rich man's disease, and I do have a little bit of that. With vodka and the shellfish, I've had lobster 5 nights. So that's what you're talking about. The kidney stones got me a little worried. I got to tell you, Thom, I'm a little concerned.
I have told the story many times, and thank God I've never had kidney stones. But when I used to do the Cubs games, and my partner on the TV side was Steve Stone. You remember Stoney? Still doing the White Sox games now. Love Stoney.
Very good.
I mean, the guy knows the game inside and out. And he went into the hospital at Northwestern Hospital in downtown Chicago. I was living downtown Chicago, about 3 blocks from the hospital. And I came over to see him one night around 7:30, 8 o'clock, just check in on my buddy, see how he's doing. I walked in the room. He looked at me. I looked at him. And the look on his face, I've never seen it. And that includes family and friends that I've gone to see in a hospital that were dying. And I'm not kidding about this. I looked at him, and I've never seen a human being in the kind of pain that he was in from kidney stones. And I've had friends through the years that have had them, and I hear it's brutal. So I hope you don't have those. I sincerely mean that.
But here's the thing, I'm assuming that I have kidney stones. I am not a doctor. I could have been a doctor. My mom wanted me to be a doctor, but my dad says you're going to be a Major League Baseball player. Being a doctor is way too easy. But I just kind of did a little Google search, and I'm thinking it could be kidneys, but it really, really hurts. And I know I don't get any sympathy. 2 weeks ago, I broke my nose. And what was your comment when I broke my nose? Oh, is there any nose exercises that you can do? And you thought that was funny. Why do you think this is funny?
I don't think this
really
is funny.
Hurting.
I'm sorry you're hurting, and I'm not so sure Mexico is the best place to be if you're hurting. Is that fair?
No. I'm very concerned. I've got 3 more days to last. If you don't hear me from next Tuesday, send the search party out for me because I'm struggling. And I also, you talked about a 6-star resort, right? That's a big selling point.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Last night, we go out to dinner with that couple, that shaky swinger couple. And after the meal, we had Indian food, which I liked, but it wasn't all that good. And we left a $10 tip.
That's a big tip down there with the value, although, the wheels are falling off, as you know, on this U.S. economy. Highest inflation in 40 years. But the value of $1 down there, $10 tip, I would think is a pretty generous tip, right?
I think it's great. And then when my wife turns to me, and I tried to take 1.5 as we were leaving, just off the table. And she caught me and says, "You cheap bastard. You put that $5 back." And I'm thinking, God, we've been tipping. Let me show you something, Thom. This is a real deal now. I came to Mexico. She says, you got to get a lot of tipping money. You see this money? Right here. Right here. That's how much. It was a stack this high. I've spent probably $100 a day on tipping. And I think that's stupid. And the Brits who we were with last night, they agree. Not only do they not believe in a dentist, but also about tipping. So here it is. All this money to last me 3 days. I think I'm going to run out of it. I really do. All this, you'd think I was going to the brass ass, wouldn't you? All these ones. You ever been, Thom?
God.
You ever been?
Yes.
And tell the truth.
Yes.
I know Casey'd love to go. You have. With Bill Hemmer?
I don't know if it was with Bill. I don't think with Bill Hemmer. But, that was roaring back in the day. Is that still around?
Oh, I love it. It's the best strip bar in the Midwest. It's the only strip bar where you pay the girls to keep their clothes on. And everybody loves a $14 warm canned beer, don't you, Thom? And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Casey, have you ever been Tracy just asked, have you ever been along the streets of Kentucky
I have never
to the
been
brass ass?
to the streets. I've never been to the brass ass. So
it's nice. Let me give you some advice, because I give you a lot of advice, Casey. Being a ham and egger, I'm just telling you how to move into this stuff. And you're a young pup. You don't have much experience. You first want to go to the AAA place, and that's the Brass Bull. And then once you kind of progress, then you walk across the street and you go to the BA. And there's not a better place to get a $14 warm beer, and the girls are, Cesarean section right there. It's very nice. Very nice. Thom, you want to go maybe next weekend when I'm back? Casey?
No. Although, you know what? Casey's got to have a batch.
I got money.
I know you do. You look like Pac-Man in Vegas. Let me ask you, now, Casey, do you have a bachelor party planned, or does somebody have one planned for you?
Boy. I do not have
Sounds
a
like
bachelor
Tracy
party
does.
planned. But maybe Tracy can plan it for me.
Tracy, would you be willing to plan his bachelor party, Casey's bachelor party?
In a heartbeat. Love to do that for you, Casey. The problem is, Casey, you would never get to the you'd never be married. That threshold. Yeah, you would not be married after we'd have a fun time maybe at a bachelor party. Bachelor party, we'd have a good time.
Let's slip into a little sports talk here real quick. I had asked you, and I was being serious off the air. I was going through something yesterday, reading some article, and somebody was up in arms about Major League Baseball and not come to an agreement with the games being on outside of the United States, and that there was a different set of rules going outside the United States as there are inside the United States. Are you getting the playoffs down there in Mexico? And if so, are you watching them or not really?
I watched a couple of innings the other night with the Phillies against the Cardinals when the Phillies closed out the series. Yeah, but I'm getting it, Thom. I know we talked about it. Actually enjoy watching a little sports bar. Nothing like having the little chicken wings and Grey Goose, right? Watching baseball. But yeah, I'm getting the ball games. And what did I tell you guys about the Padres and the Dodgers? Dodgers are going to lose that series. Padres looked good the other night. I watched a little bit of that game.
Well, they won the second game last night 5-3 after losing the first game. So now the series goes down to San Diego. And Tracy, you know this. And I think that there are a lot of people out there, it wouldn't be in their top 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. I got to tell you, when the Padres are good, and I'm going back to the days of Jack Murphy Stadium when they had a team that went to the World Series. I think it was, what year was that? They had Steve Finley playing and Nevin. Anyway, whatever. But now they're at Petco downtown. I tell you what, man, that is one of the best places on the planet to watch a baseball game when the Padres are good. That place is going to be rocking tomorrow night on a Friday night.
You know what, Thom? San Diego is one of the best places actually to live in this country. I love San Diego. Eventually, I think I might move down to San Diego. I really like it, but I've been to Petco Park. It's a very nice park, a lot of excitement. I think San Diego's got a good team. The only thing I'll say this, and it's just an observation. I don't want to get too nerdy and breaking it down, but the trade for Juan Soto. Do you ever question that trade, Thom? The first game of the series against the Dodgers, he was hitting 7th. Can you imagine trading for your best prospects in all of baseball for a guy that you're going to have to pay long-term $500 million? I just thought that was comical. I'm not taking anything away from Juan Soto, but that was my observation just watching the game. Here's a guy, you trade your 4 best players, $1 billion is what they're going to have to pay him, and he's hitting 7th. And I know it's lefty against lefty, but I thought that was strange.
Well, there's no doubt. That's a great point you make. And look, the Padres, for whatever reason, have decided in the last year or two that they're quote-unquote all in. I mean, they're doing everything that they can and acquiring every player they can to try and win the whole thing. I don't know if that's setting up some kind of a move to try and sell the team one day. Paul, you want to jump in on this?
Think about what they could be doing here if Tatis was in there too.
and he's suspended.
Right.
So, I mean, think about what this
Such a
lineup
good
could
player.
be. Yeah, and then that's a shame that we're not getting to see him in the postseason with Soto and everybody else that they have going on.
Yep. Tatis is a heck of a
You know,
player,
I wanna-
right? Go ahead.
No, they have a lot of players. I want to throw this at you because I thought this was interesting. Because sometimes your goofiness, your tomfoolery that you do, Tom. Sometimes we have to break it down and talk about serious issues. And you talked about the struggling economy, right? With Brandon as your president.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Hold on a second.
Oh, no,
I
they
think you've
got
been
him.
cut off by the U.S. government. Are you there?
Yeah.
No, see.
The
Go
person,
ahead.
There he
the
is.
person that caught Aaron Judge's home run was offered $2 million.
Yep.
What would you do with that baseball right there? That because you go back to Mark McGwire when he hit his 70th, someone offered $3 million for that ball. Would you sell the ball for $2 million?
I would, because I'm not a collector of any kind. I mean, I have more stuff sitting in my basement that I could probably sell for everything. I mean, a lot of money, and that stuff doesn't mean anything to me. I don't have any things hanging up on the wall like all you fancy guys with your playing career and jerseys and all that kind of thing. That's just not me. It doesn't make me bad. Doesn't make me good. No, nothing. I don't care about a baseball. I don't care who hit it. It means nothing to me. And so if somebody offered me $2 million, damn right. Right there on the spot, I'd sell it. Wouldn't you?
Well, I'm sure Paulie would, right? She'd be all over that. I don't collect memorabilia, sports memorabilia, but what I do collect is watches. And I've got like a tag, a Rolly, a Gucci. And I like to do this. I probably change watches 4 times a day. Like this is my second watch of the day. I start off with my Apple, and now I'm on to my Gucci. That's what I collect watches, and I think I probably have 30 watches. I go to my safe, pick out the 4 watches that I'm going to wear that day, put them out, and just kind of switch during the day. It's a very cool thing to collect watches.
Why do you change them during the day? I mean, if you've got a whole bunch of them, why wouldn't you just wear what did you call it, a Rolly? What is that for Rolex?
That's what we call them, a Submariner. I actually have a Submariner with the green face on it. You never, guys, that's way over your head. But that's what I like to wear. If I'm going to a high-end place, like a Waltz hitching post, right, that's what I would wear. If I'm going to, let's say, the Brass Ass, then like we go, I'd wear a Timex. See, so you wear different events. If I'm working out, I wear my Apple Watch, keep track of my heartbeat. See, but I change watches 3, sometimes 5 times a day. Some people think that's a little obsessive. I think it's neat.
Well, you know who else, on a serious note, who else collects watches? I don't know if you know this or not, but the legendary broadcast voice for ESPN many, many years and the San Francisco Giants is John Miller. Did you know that?
Yes, I did know, but I love John Miller. Very talented man. Very talented. What kind of watch? Does he have a Rolly?
He's got everything. He's like you. He collects all kinds. I've never heard the term Rolly. Is that like just for people who can afford to buy them? Is that what it is? Because I've never had a Rolex. I've got this same watch. My wife, God bless her, when we were 2 of the first 25 people working for the Arizona Diamondbacks 2 years before the team started playing, she was the business manager of the team, had worked her way up in a very short amount of time from just being in accounting to the business manager. And she wasn't making much money. And she had saved basically all of her money to buy me this watch, and I'm still wearing this now 24 years later. But so I've never been in the market for a watch. Is that what people who can afford to call a Rolex call it, a Rolly?
It's very high end. What kind of watch are you wearing?
It's a tag. It's a tag.
That's a very high end. That's what I have one over there. I have a tag that Tiger Woods wears a tag. That's very high end. And tell Paulie, how many years ago did she get that? 25 years ago?
Yeah.
To spend that kind of money is reckless. And that is way over. To spend that kind of money on a tag for you 25 years ago, that watch is worth some money. That's a good watch you got on.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it means a lot to me, and I don't have many things that I look at, that I look around and say, I don't care about this stuff, but this one I actually do.
That's neat.
So the rest of your trip, are you spending more time with a British couple?
No. They're way, way too aggressive. I don't know what their intentions are. No, I'm not gonna spend any time. I'm just gonna try to kind of slow it down on the tipping. It's this stuff. I mean, it's just going crazy. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Thom?
I got to tell you, I think every married man out there that's been married for a long time, and you and Danae haven't been married that long, but you've been together for a long time. I think it's safe to say that every married man has been in the position that you are in right now. And that is, you take your wife to this beautiful place. I've never been to a 6-star resort, but I assume it's really, really nice. You called it a dump the other day, but that's neither here nor there. But we've all been there where you want to spice things up a little bit. Your balloons thing is incredible with your carnival background and so forth. If that hasn't worked yet, does Tracy Jones have another trick or two up his proverbial sleeve?
I'm going to tell you the truth on this. And if she finds out about this, she's going to be really mad. I bought her a car the other day.
You did?
How about that? Yep, I did. It was a cheap car. It's a not high-end car. It's a Range Rover. I mean, it's not that big a deal. So I told her I bought her a Range Rover Sport. And she says, but I like BMWs. So what I'm saying right now is no action there behind me. You get someone a Range Rover. Do you guys know what a Range Rover is?
Guys, do you guys know what a Range Rover is?
Yeah, we know what a Range Rover is.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven one?
On the
No, we never.
No. But I think we're kind of heading to the same direction that my boy Thom and Giselle are. I don't see any way we're going to avoid it. We're really having some issues, Thom. And if you guys could help me with any advice, please do. If not, we're going to the brass ass.
Well, I got to tell you, Tracy, Casey's fiance has been in our chat on YouTube here. She's all of a sudden gone stone silent ever since this conversation started up. And Ricky Vaughn III, while he's not pitching in the baseball playoffs, wants to know, is there such a thing as a 6-star strip club?
No, it goes as high as the brass ass at 5-star. There's no 6-star. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, there is. The one down in Tampa.
Mons Venus.
Oh, hold on. Here's another one. Things are starting to come to my mind. Chez Paris in Montreal. That's a 6-star. Oh, wait a minute. One more, Thom. Solid Gold there in Texas. Now, I've never been to these places, but I hear they're really good. And I'll tell you what's not bad. It's a 5.5-star, and that's Cheetahs down in Atlanta. They say that's really good.
Boy, you just came up with that list right off the top of your head. I mean, that's a who's who.
You think I'm good and knowledgeable on baseball, strip bars? The best strip bar I've ever been to, the Wild Goose there on Aviation right in front of LAX Airport. The Wild Goose. Thom, you ever been there? You and Bill Hammer?
No. Never been to that
one. You'd like it.
I'm sure I would. All right. Well, Tracy, we'll let you get back to. Are you and Danae going to sit out by the pool, out by the beach? I would think the beach, right? Are you a beach guy or a pool guy?
Yeah, I'm going to spend because I got a sunburn. I'm going to my clothing optional side of the beach today, kind of get my last, sun. So yeah, I'm going to go to that side of the beach. Hopefully Danae will join me. I don't want that Great Britain lady with the screwed up teeth to be down there again. Nah, don't want her. She just kept looking, Thom. Why was that?
I can't answer that. I wasn't there.
Up here. It's in the eyes, not,
Well,
I mean, they call you tripod for a reason.
It's a high school nickname. Thom.
Okay. Yeah, I'm staying away from that. Okay, well, enjoy the clothing optional beach at the 6-star resort. And I am sure that Casey, and Casey, you'll have to get Tracy
Absolutely.
An invitation list of some kind.
Yeah.
Now, your father-in-law is not coming to this bachelor party, is he, Casey?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would love for him to come. I'm sure he'd have a good time.
That's bad. No, he's not coming.
No.
That's horrible advice.
What are you gonna take me to a 6-star strip club? Is that what?
I'm gonna take you somewhere where you ain't never seen a lot of things you're about to see.
Tracy, enjoy the rest of your trip.
Casey, just make sure you get that prenuptial agreement before you get married. I think that's good advice.
There you go, Casey.
I'll consider it.
You're all good. Tracy, enjoy the rest of your vacation. Send Danae our love. By the way, before I let you go, is there any chance we can have her on sometime?
Why?
Because I would like just to, my old friend Harry Carey, and I don't mean to name drop, but he was the one who said this to me, and I've never forgotten it. He said to me, Thom, there are many things in your life I want you to remember, and he shared a number of those with me over the 6+ years we worked together. But the one line I've never forgotten that he said, don't ever forget, there are 3 sides to every story. Your side, my side, and the truth. So I would like to bring Danae onto this program to at least see if there's not another side to some of this you're sharing with us.
I would if she had, how can I say this, a personality. But she's so dry. I mean, she's good to look at. Don't get me wrong. She's a very attractive woman. But as far as sense of humor and wit, and it's just not there. It would drag the show down, Thom. And we don't want that. The ratings are skyrocket right now, right?
They are. I mean, they're taking off. There's no doubt about it. And you're a big reason why. Just for the record, before we go, Alexandria, his fiance, chimed in as a parting note. Anything Casey can do, I can do 10 times better, including my bachelorette party.
Who was that? What was
that's his fiance, Alexandria.
Tell her to go watch The View.
Why would anybody watch The View?
That's a horrible show.
Yeah.
Those liberals like that show, though, Thom. They like that, right? They love that show. Those woke people, they love that show.
All right. Tracy, enjoy the rest of your vacation, my friend. Stay safe. Godspeed ahead getting back here to your palatial estate there in northern Kentucky along the banks of the mighty Ohio.
And let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Great advice here, Tracy Jones. We thank him as always. I mean, the guy, there are very few places you can go in life and get advice like Tracy Jones offers up. I loved, fellas, you had to love the balloons.
Yes.
That's a big league move. And Tracy's a big leaguer.
He is all in on this show. All in.
He is. I think we need him more often. Does having Tracy more frequently. And tomorrow I'm going to ask all of you who are the hardcore folks who join us every single day, Ricky Vaughn and Terrell. He says Tracy's always keeping it too real. David saying Tracy is the best. Lure Up. Ooh, Susan McAllister even got in. That's your mom, right?
Yeah, that's my mom.
No clubs.
The whole family's in today.
No clubs for Case. 64, 12 Mars, hundreds of others that are here every day. I want to get your thoughts on having Tracy Jones on this program more frequently.